Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how.
Hello, my fellow flawless, limitless, sexy, sassy, saucy HBICs. How are you on this lovely morning, afternoon, or evening? How are you all? I hope you're all doing fabulous. I hope you're all choosing to be the versions of yourself that have exactly what you want. I swear this is a different day. This is not a multi-recording day. It's just I'm wearing the same jacket and my hair is the same and I'm driving to the same place. So bear with me. I don't think I need to say it, but you know why I'm not making direct eye contact. Just because I'm trying to be safe on the road, but I wanted to talk to you. Okay, let me quickly say, if you're new here, how you doing? I'm Kimberly, and yes, I like sass. I like manifestation to be simple and easy. I don't like to basically fart around with a bunch of hodgepodge bondage-like manifestation talk, because manifestation should not feel like work or the word I am enjoying using, like bondage, where we feel powerless and unable to experience the life we want. And if you can handle all of that and you feel the same way, you want manifestation to be easy peasy, well, then I ask you to subscribe and be my new friend, and let me know in the comments below that you have. And if I see that comment, you will hear back from me. And to those of you who have been doing that, thank you so much. I have written back to any of them that I've seen. So just disclaimer, if you did write it and I didn't respond, I haven't seen it. But there's been lots of you who have, and thank you for subscribing, and welcome. Welcome to my fellowship of HBICs, as I like to say. Everybody here, everybody that is a part of my community is a head bitch, badass boy boss, in charge of their reality, because you are reality. So, let's get to the biznatch here today. I don't think we need a fancy schmancy, perfect everything, perfect background, perfectly tailored and polished in order for the message to be real and true. I don't think we need that. Nothing against that, but I think that the only thing we ever need in any type of consciousness conversation is truth and authenticity. So that I will always provide for you on my channel. Truth and authenticity. And one of the things I hope you quickly pick up as I am placing it down, that you are manifesting all the time. Not just when you're thinking about what you're manifesting. No, every moment, every literal moment, you're manifesting. You're manifesting everything around you, in front of you. What you think you can or cannot see, it's all you. And the beauty of this is the freedom of choice. The freedom of choice in who you are and what you experience. The only thing that we really don't choose is how things unfold, how things get presented to you. You could say, well, that's the other part of yourself handling that. And we could call that your higher self. Now, I could say, well, it's your I am. But that would imply that there are parts of you that are not I am. And that is not the truth. Every part of you, including your ego, is I am. Everything is I am. Everything is. So in other words, there is no separation from that, ever. Now, we as humans, we have a tendency to believe that thoughts that don't feel good, circumstances that we don't like, or, bad thoughts that just are not, they're like our old thinking thoughts. That's not you, that's not the I am. And in one respect, thoughts are not you, per se. But God, the absolute, right? Consciousness, unconditioned consciousness, is the provider of all, including the thoughts. So let's just make that very clear. So, in other words, nothing is created that isn't created. Everything is God. Everything. So, me putting that out on the table, when I'm telling you that we don't always control how things come to us, that really is not a bad thing, because, oh my God, how boring life would be if we always knew every detail of what was about to happen to us. Now, I know some of you out there would love to be in full control of how, or the how. I wanted that too. When I first found manifestation, and I'm going to word it like when I was actually doing my best from the understanding I had at the time to apply what I was learning. I wanted to control every aspect of how it unfolded. I actually would say I don't like surprises. I don't like the unknown, because that didn't feel safe to me. That felt scary. It felt out of control. And what I'm hoping, if there's any of you out there who feel that way right now, I want to tell you, your desire to control it is coming from fear. Just like it was coming from fear from myself. I promise you that if you are, in essence, staying aware of who you are, everything you're experiencing is for you to have your best life. Everything is, even circumstances that don't feel good. Even when your reality feels quiet and unchanging, it is still for you. It's never against you. Even if you were to sit and logically explain to me how your current circumstance is 100% not for you, I promise it is. And you might not understand in this moment that you're experiencing it, why it's for you, but you will. At some point, it will all make sense. That's been my experience. I may have had moments where things have popped up where I felt irritated, hurt, angry. And I don't stifle those feelings and emotions when I have them. But what I mean by that is even though I felt a negative way, and it's you and I naming it negative, being angry, being hurt, being scared, they're negative. Well, are they really negative? That's the human ego side of us, which is still the I am, giving it that label. And that is because we're seeing it through logical, rational mind. Do you see what I'm saying? Nothing is really good or bad. Everything is actually meaningless until we, through ego, give it a label. This is bad, this is good. And that is not bad either. Ego is not bad. I know you've been hearing me say, if you've been watching my content or joining me on my live streams, especially over on TikTok, you've heard me bring this up countless times. that your ego is not bad, because I don't want you to think that it is. Ego is not working against you. Think of ego as your logical side, and sometimes that comes in handy, being logical when we're maneuvering around 3D reality. Well, anyway, my point in saying that is, okay, let's say in this moment that you're experiencing something that the ego part of you, ego mind, would label as bad. Or like, this is a bad circumstance. It's a shitty circumstance. It's not a circumstance I want to keep experiencing. Okay, you are allowed to have your opinion over what you're experiencing. And that kind of ties in why you are not going to fail at your manifestation by accepting or acknowledging that you're not enjoying an experience, or by having your emotions and feelings. In my opinion, the goal here is not to stifle how you feel, but in one respect, being able to, for the sake of understanding, separating yourself momentarily from the circumstance so you can see it through clear eyes. The only reason why I'm even bringing that up is, okay, back to a shit circumstance. When I experience, even now, when I experience things I don't like, but definitely in the past, I may not have enjoyed. Then let's talk about the multiple solo vacations that I manifested over my own SP love journey. I did not like those. Oh, if you're new to my channel, solo vacation means breakup. It just, to me, sounds a little less nasty. But it doesn't matter. You don't have to use my words. When those solo vacations showed up in my reality, I did not like them. I was not enjoying them. I was not happy and ecstatic that I was living it at all. I was hurt. I was upset. I cried a lot. There were lots of spirals. And it didn't stop me from ultimately getting my manifestation. That's why I believe you having emotions and feelings is not going to stop anything. I mean, but that's not a new topic on my channel. But when we allow ourselves to temporarily separate ourselves from the circumstance to see through clearer eyes or clearer vision, clearer mind. Sometimes we get the gift of immediately understanding why it might be here, why you might be experiencing it. Now, that's okay. If there's a part of you who thinks, well, I've already done that and I still don't understand, that is okay. I'm not saying you have to understand to get the circumstances to go away either. I'm saying that sometimes it's a little more soothing when we can see through the circumstance or see it with clearer vision. Most importantly, to see that that circumstance is not here to hurt you or to inhibit you from experiencing what you want in any way, shape, or form. In any way, shape, or form. In essence, a shit circumstance might actually be there for you to see something more clearly. And I'm going to say through the eyeballs of awareness with your manifestation knowledge, to see through it. Because you might just be leveling up in your understanding of who you actually are as I am. I can tell you from my own solo vacations, especially the second one, they ended up being moments that I leveled up. In the living it, I didn't see it that way. I didn't see it that way until I moved past it. Okay? Your circumstances are not here to punish you. They're not here. And I know I just said it, but I'm going to say it again. They are not here to stop you from getting what you want. Now, maybe you're someone who has experienced whatever shitty circumstance you might be experiencing more than once. So maybe there's a part of you that believes, what's the point? What's the point of this? Because it keeps happening to me. So I want to take your manifestation advice, Kim, but it hasn't worked for me before. Here I am again, and I thought I was doing things right. Oh, God, do I relate to you? I know. That is exactly how I felt. It's exactly how I felt. And that's okay that you feel that way. But no, it isn't here because it's time for you to give up on the desire. Or it's time for you to realize you're just going to have to keep experiencing this bullshit. It's not this either. The last thing we ever want to do is give in to the thinking, I'm screwed, this is just going to keep happening, nothing's going to change, blah, blah, blah. Don't give in to that. Even if you were thinking that right before you clicked on my video, please don't shut yourself down. Because that's how I view that. You're shutting yourself down and you're giving up on your desire and you're settling for a life you don't want. Right? You're in that giving up energy. We ain't giving up. You got to get through this moment. And you're going to. And I want you to actually think about yourself in this moment as this time is different. This is the end of this bullshit cycle. This is done. It's different this time. And I want you to tell yourself that you're safe and secure to trust that this is going to be different. And I'm telling you, if you do that, if you give that to yourself, it will be different. It will change. It will. And that's me giving you some pretty damn good advice, especially when you feel stuck. You're not stuck. I'm going to say that the yeah but. Here's the yeah but to this. You are in charge of who you are. And nothing and no one outside of you has the authority to choose for you. But a lot of us, through conditioning, have been allowing our circumstances or 3D reality to take over the authority and allowing the circumstances to decide for you who you are. So again, going back to the example, if you're someone who has experienced the same shitty circumstance over and over and over and over again, I know how easy it is to believe that things are not gonna be any different. I know it, and I know it feels extremely real to you. I felt the same damn way. In my experience, so this is from my own journey, I had unsuccessful love relationships. That was the main category that really had my attention. Unsuccessful, unfulfilling love relationships, or if I was really wanting to be with, another person, it just felt like I kept repeating the same cycle of that person eventually not wanting me anymore, or not wanting the relationship, blah, 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 blah. And it felt like a forever cycle. You can best be assured that when I manifested the solo vacations, after I thought I was doing, from the understanding of, where I was at that time, I thought I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. I genuinely would have told you that then. I broke the little strand thingy, rubber thingy I was using to hold you up. So right now you're in my dashboard. I know it's probably the least flattering angle ever. For the love of all that's holy. So I'm not loving this. I'm sorry, you're stuck in my dashboard. So basically what I was trying to convey to you is the part that matters is the part where you continue to decide who you are and not give up on that because you're frustrated or because you're afraid that the cycle or the pattern of events, of circumstances are never going to change. I was attempting to relate to you that, man, I felt the same way. But those circumstances, they were not worthless. Yes, they sucked. No, I would prefer not to experience them again. But I cannot say to you that I didn't walk away learning something, understanding something. And I'm not trying to say that you're being tested. That's not my message. Although I do think that sometimes it is worth it to look at your circumstances as if they are tests, so that it keeps you motivated to keep knowing and remembering who you are. And by who you are, I mean the I am. Source. If you think that you've done it all and nothing's worked, well, let me ask you, what is the things, or what are the things that you think you've done? What is the I've done it all? How would you define that? Are you going to tell me a bunch of techniques? Because I'll tell you, my old self would tell you that I've done all these techniques. I've done this, I've done that. I've done exactly what I've read, or what I heard this person say or that person say. I would have said that for an answer. I wouldn't have said, I've been knowing, remembering that I am source. That I am who I say I am. I wouldn't have said that. Because at that time in my life, when I, way back in those solo vacations, I'm sorry, I get lost in time too. I didn't understand. I would have told you, yeah, I know I'm source. I know I'm God. I know. But I didn't know. No. And there is a difference. You can know it intellectually, and then there is to know it. And I don't mean that if you don't really know it, you're not manifesting. Because that's not true either. Right? We can manifest, and we have been manifesting our whole life, conscious or unconscious. So let me just put that fear, please. But what I mean by it is once you really know that you aren't afraid of things like you once were. You don't fear things or see things as threatening to your desire like you do when you feel like something can get in the way of it all. That's what I mean. And there is a difference. So I encourage you to put your focus there. You won't be let down. You won't be disappointed. And you won't be a person who doesn't end up getting their desire. You will get that desire. I'm telling you. But again, I know I repeat myself a lot, and I bring up a lot of the same messages, and it's because the messages matter. When you're in that place of you feel like you're stuck in a cycle, that is an identity. That is you, I'm sure without meaning to, claiming that that is who you are. I am that. I am. We don't want to do that. And I would call that you're letting 3D reality, which takes orders from you because it is you. You're letting outside things dictate to you who you are. And that's, in my definition, someone forgetting their source. Someone forgetting their God. Because those circumstances would absolutely change if you did. If you came back home. That's what I think. Knowing yourself as God, as source, as I am, it's coming home. It's remembering the truth. And I will tell you this, knowing yourself as source, as God, as the I am, doesn't mean that you have to stop enjoying your experience as being you. I haven't shut off being Kimberly. No, I am chose to experience itself as me, as you. I don't shut that off. I feel that's a whole other conversation. You don't stop being God just because you're aware of being this individual self. And that's another place of where the ego comes in as our friend. You're meant for great things. You're meant to experience the life you want. You're meant for it. If there's a destiny, that's your destiny. You're meant to love your life. And that includes getting to experience any experience you want. And there's no limits to that. So don't let your outside circumstance continue to decide for you, or to get you to the place where you are forgetting your true self. Source. I am. I don't want anybody to give up on what they want. I don't want you to feel stuck in a cycle, and I know this is me wanting it for you. I want right now for you to remember who you are as source. And at the same time, I want you to know that whatever your desire is, it authentically, honestly is yours. It's already yours because it is. And I want you to know that for yourself every day. I want you to remind yourself every day that you are I am. And from there, you are that I am. What do I mean by that? Meaning I am that I am. That I am is the you who has what you want. Decide it. Be it. Love it. And whatever you're experiencing, even in this now moment, is in some way a part of you having whatever that desire is. Bookmark this video so that you come back and tell me how I was right. Okay, I'm at my destination. I'm sorry for the fuckery in the video. We'll have normalcy probably tomorrow. So on that note, for real, I love you all. I'll see you all. Exclusive lives, channel members. I'll see you Saturday morning. Thank you for the understanding of me having to reschedule our group. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but doesn't matter. I'll see you all tomorrow. Oh my God, have I even been recording? I should probably close my window. I hate to be too hot. And I got a really hot jacket on. I'm sorry, I need air. It is hot as hell. And I hate to be hot. Kim, just take off your jacket. I'm driving! It's gonna take too much work. I got my seatbelt on. It's a pain in the ass. Anyway. Those are all limitations. That was me arguing for my limitations.